This video was sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another review, and today, well, it seems like a few years ago I might have forgotten to do something. And that thing is this thing, the high-grade Iron Blooded Orphans Gundam Kimaris. I have no idea how I forgot to review this when it came out back when I was reviewing every single one of these, but if you're the guy who left that comment the other day saying why did I not review this, thank you for reminding me. I had one knocking around in my backlog that I was going to keep for a custom that I can review right now, and hey, let's get right on into it. So anyway, there is the high-grade Gundam Kimaris out of the box, just snapped together with some panel lining. Honestly, I could not help myself with this particular kit because, well, the first time I built it I didn't bother my arse, and it makes such a massive difference. These are the exact same kit, and the only thing that's been done different is a little bit of this right here. Just this, I rubbed off my thumb, that was all. But yeah, every time I come back to these kits and build them, I realize just how much I love them. They're so simple, they're so smart, they're easy to put together, and although they do have some issues that crop up over the long term, the fresh builds look great, they feel great. They're some of the most kit-bashable kits out there, if not the most kit-bashable gunpla out there, and honestly, I love them. They're definitely not without their flaws, especially by modern standards, but they still hold up like I said in this video. But yeah, as for the good points, it looks great. Detailing's nice, absolutely unique design, and honestly, a bangin' color scheme. But we do have some budget high-grade issues like that big old seam line, knobs are right on the surface so will require a lot of cleanup, and yeah, those are pretty bad. The entire surface, along the seams and along every aspect of this kit is kind of pockmarked with those knobs, and I did double snip everything this time, so yeah, you're gonna have to take a lot of caution with this. With the older one I did double snip it and sand them away, so they're not so bad, but you can still end up with a lot of sanding marks, etc. trying to clean these up, yeah? The tech has definitely dated a little bit, and that's not even the worst part. The worst part about these kits is buried inside of that chest, and that is the joint, which allows them to move forward and back at this point. It just separates all the time, and they'll eventually just flop forward on you like that over and over again. That is this joint right here, so I do recommend adding a little plastic cement onto this right here, this little peg, and inside of this little section here, so when you do actually pop this on, hold it in place, it will stay like that. Just make sure not to get any of it into the actual joint itself. But besides that, the kit's, well, solid enough. There's definitely some silly aspects, like the fact that all of this armor blocks you from fully pushing the arm into the shoulder, and that kind of, you know, recesses in there a little bit. There's a couple of quirks involved here, but absolutely beautiful. Let's give it a spin. So there's the full 360-degree spin of the high-grade Kimaris, and these kits, their strongest aspect is definitely their looks. This is a kit that does require a few stickers, not nearly as many as we would have seen with the high-grade Barbatos, the standard one. That had a whole load. This one, not so bad. I left the vast majority of them off because I didn't really want to be looking at them. Stickers like these ones here up on the shoulder. Down here in the waist, they don't look very good. And I actually think the detail just in that cool shade of white just looks better. Just like we saw with the high-grade Freedom not that long ago, the eyes on this kit are actually not reflective either. Do Bandai not make a reflective yellow in the eyes at all? Is this just a choice on some kits because the yellow looks better non-reflective, or is it because reflective yellow would look like gold? I have no clue. Starting to ramble. Let's move ahead.
Hi, I'm Spooky the Neck Gremlin, and today I'm taking a day off from my hobbies of data theft, tracing, surveillance, and commercial targeting to relax with my favorite pastime, online shopping. Online shopping is all the rage these days as everyone is spending more time at home trying to stay safe. Ha! Safe? Not safe from me! Just look at all these credit card details I've stolen from these unprotected VPN-less chumps. Now which one to use? Expired? Used this one already. Whoa, this one looks fancy. Gonna get me some new Gucci sunglasses. Oh no, it's the fuzz! No! And I would've gotten away with it too if it wasn't for that meddling Surfshark VPN.
Secure your digital life today with Surfshark VPN. Protect your online identity, block ads, trackers, and malware. Hey, just listen to these customer testimonials. Get 83% off and 3 extra months free by entering the code Mecha, link in the description. So jumping on into the accessories, and here's the high-grade Gundam Kimaris with absolutely everything that it comes with, which, just like most Iron Blooded Orphans kits, doesn't come with a whole lot in it, just the lance, sword, and a couple of shurikens. So yeah, if you want that other sword and that big old backpack, you're gonna have to shell out extra for the option kit. The same does go for the hands in here, because we've just got a pair of the standard style block hole holding hands. As for the weapons, first up we've got a pair of these tiny little shuriken. They're very small, so they can't necessarily be attached to anything per se, besides on the end of a toothpick like this. They've got that general ninja star kind of vibe, and when they're not in use they can be posed sticking out of the shoulders like this, like they're about to get shot out, or you can push them all the way in, close it up, and forget about them forever, like I did. So next up we've got the compact knife, which is quite big for a compact knife, more like a compact sword. This can be held in the hand, as simple as popping it in, just like that, or you can just fold it up like so, pop this bit onto the butt flap, and then you can store it in there, just like that. The last thing we've got in here then is the main event itself, which is the lance. So I've got one major issue with this, and I've always had it since the first time I saw it, and that is just the way that it is designed. So the actual peg for holding this together is around here somewhere, not towards the end, so it will always do this, which kind of gives it somewhat of a kind of warped kind of look. If this was all one piece, that wouldn't be the case, but it's not one piece, and yeah, if you want this to be perfect, you're gonna have to cement that in position. Besides that though, it doesn't really do much else besides be big and a lance. There's a tab in the handle of this, so when it attaches into the hand, it does hold in quite securely. This is pretty big, but does hold in quite well, but you're gonna have to support it on something, because that shoulder is not the greatest, and this will sag, and sometimes not even just sag, just outright fall out with some general posing. That's about it. Shoulders on this ain't great. So finally moving on to the build and the articulation, and as you can tell so far, the build of this is quite good. It just has a couple of flaws. Again, the main one being inside of the chest. You're gonna have to glue that or it will drive you ballistic. And the shoulders like to kind of jimmy themselves off, you know, a bit of the law of the lever versus a large flappy bit, and a fulcrum up here just means constantly popping off. So there's not much you can do about that besides just taking care while posing, make sure it's shoved in right, but besides that, it is quite good right now. Give it a couple of years, maybe not so much. You're gonna have to pop it off the shelf and squeeze everything back into place, because these kits like to get loose. Anyway, we've got a generic double ball joint polycap neck, so there's the head all the way up, there it is all the way down, side to side, and we've got the side to side pivot, and that arm just fell off on its own. And there goes the other one. Kimaris, more like key armless. Anyway, so next up inside the shoulders, the polycaps are aligned to move up and down, and they are set very deep inside the armor. That's why we get all of those issues. But when we're not getting all those issues, there's the arm all the way down, then there it is all the way up, so just be gentle. The shoulder armor is separate, so it can stay up like that, and this segment can move up and down as well. As usual, we have a full spin at the upper arm, 1 point elbow bend, so just beyond 90 degrees, well, a little bit more. And the wrist is your standard, normal, swiveling, wiggling ball joint. As for the ab crunch on this, it is double jointed. We've got one down below, which is a ball joint. There's it all the way back. We've got the upper joint, then the lower joint, allowing it to move back like so. And then there it is side to side, only at the bottom, which is that standard polycap ball joint. Front skirting can move up like so on a ball joint. These are attached on the runner, just snip them apart if you want them to move separately. Ball joint side skirt, so up, down, forward, and back. Paralyzed butt flap. Inside the waist, the peg for the hip can move forward and back. The other leg does move with that. And there's that kick all the way up to the front, all the way out to the back. Doesn't really go out too far. And as for the splits, it can go all the way. Full 360 spin at the upper leg, but if it is in close like this, the armor will block it from moving. 2 point bend at the knee, but it doesn't get you a whole lot really. Enough, but not a whole lot. We have a very cool splitting armor gimmick here. Inside of that, we have 2 thrusters we can angle out like that and like this. And there's what Kimaris looks like with both of those legs flared out and opened up just like that. At the ankle, we've got that standard ball joint here, and interesting drum style Iron Blooded Orphans movement to just the front of the foot, which is a little bit odd. And we do have a toe bend up as well as down. When that is all closed up though, you do not get as much out of that. So by modern standards, the articulation on this is quite basic. You'll get a lot of nice poses out of it, but nothing extreme. There is a lot of armor that will get in the way, and a lot of parts that just like to fall off quite a bit. So yeah, there we go, a bit of a trip down memory lane with the high-grade Iron Blooded Orphans Gundam Kimaris, and to be honest, I'm actually shocked by how well, not particularly good it is. Visually, it looks very nice, but does need stickers, definitely needs to be panel lined, and a lot of the nubs show up quite a bit without some extreme care. On top of that, the build is a little bit wonky. This is definitely the case with a lot of high-grade Iron Blooded Orphans kits, but this one seems like it's packed a little too much onto that frame, and it feels a little bit more likely to fall apart. This goes for both of the Kimarises that I have, and I kind of feel it's a little below average for a high-grade Iron Blooded Orphans kit. So it does kind of hurt me to say this, but the high-grade Gundam Kimaris, by today's standards, is only bronze tier. It is not up to 2021 high-grade standards whatsoever. But at the same time, these are fairly cheap kits. It's a lot of fun, very kit bashable. If you're gonna put that extra bit of work in, you'll have a very, very nice kit. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more gunpla reviews, and I'll be seeing you next time. As always, I cannot end this video right here without thanking each and every one of you guys for watching this video, for dropping a like, subscribing, and of course to each and every one of you that supports me over on the channel memberships or over on Patreon, like Craig Jerry, Tyler Sanders, the ambassador for Asymmetric Cats, Caleb Engelhart, Sean T, and Brian Perez.